This week, Nicki Minaj put out some skincare advice on Twitter, and after she came under fire about advice she gave about the COVID vaccine, I thought it would be important for a dermatologist to break down this skincare advice so you know, can you trust it? Is it good advice? Should you follow it? Let's check out the tweets and I'll give you my opinion on Nicki Minaj skincare advice. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm 208SkinDoc, Dr. Dustin Portela, board certified dermatologist in Boise, Idaho. And today we're going to be breaking down Nicki Minaj's skincare advice that she put out this week earlier on Twitter. Now, she did come under some fire, as we talked about, for things that she said about the COVID vaccine. We're not going to get into any of that, but when a celebrity starts talking skincare, I think it's good for a dermatologist to chime in. So we're going to go fact or cap and play that game when we look at the things that she tweeted. She had a series of tweets and we're going to break them down for you. So let's check out the first tweet and see what she had to say. Okay, first tweet. You ain't got else to do. Take a shower, use 4 to 5 different soaps and bath gels, get a bikini wax, wash your face with something from a dermatologist. Never use a towel on your face. Use oils and lotions together to moisturize your skin. Use perfume that lingers but is not overpowering. Let's break that down one by one. Take a shower, good self-care. Some of this is just going to be self-care advice, but not necessarily the best thing you could do for your skin. Use 4 to 5 different soaps and bath gels. I'm not sure just from this tweet if she means all at once, if you're mixing these together or what, but generally my advice is just use a good hydrating body wash or a cleansing soap, bar of soap. So not a true soap, but like a CeraVe bar, Cetaphil bar, Vanicream bar, something that's not really gonna strip your skin. Typically I like a Dove body wash, or you can even use a facial cleanser on the skin that's not going to strip away too many oils. If you're doing this more for a self-care thing and you do want things that are highly fragranced or have a certain texture, then you can start to mix together different soaps and bath gels, but that's not necessarily dermatologist recommended. The next one is get a bikini wax. I'm going to leave that one to the women. If that's your thing, if you like doing that, absolutely do that. Just do it with an esthetician or cosmetologist that knows what they're doing. That can be a challenging thing to do on your own. And make sure that you know how to care for your skin after a procedure like waxing or sugaring. I went through sugaring and we talked about that on a previous video. You can check that out with this card if you want to learn a little bit about my process when I tried sugaring for myself. Next, she says, wash your face with something from a dermatologist. I'm assuming this means dermatologist recommended. So that could be something that you get in the dermatologist office, which I do think is a good idea. Often those are going to be good products. And if you're consulting with the dermatologist, you're going to get things that are recommended specifically for your skin. Otherwise, you want to look for dermatologist recommended products over the counter. And you've heard me talk about lots of different brands that I recommend. Just last week, we talked about the all new and improved formulations from Cetaphil. Big fan of the Cetaphil products, so you can also check out that video if you'd like. But I like Cetaphil, CeraVe, Vanicream. Those are kind of the drugstore brands that I highly recommend. But you can certainly get into lots of other lines, and I've worked with lots of brands. I've used many different brands myself, and so I like cleansers from Biossance, I like cleansers from Versed, I like cleansers from the Inky List. There's lots of great options available. Finding something that works with your skin type. Her next advice is never use a towel on your face. I'm not quite sure where she's going with this one. She'll talk about it more in later tweets, so we'll elaborate there. But I'm not sure exactly why this was recommended. Maybe it's something that's worked well for her, but not necessarily something that I tell my patients. And then use oils and lotions together to moisten your skin. So I do think it's important to moisturize as soon as you get out of the shower or bath. Whether you need to be mixing things together, I don't think that's necessary. When you're mixing oils and lotions together, they may not mix well. They may sit on your skin in a way that doesn't set in very well. I generally recommend that you use a moisturizing cream. You can use an oil if you'd like, but I generally recommend a cream because it has a lower water content than a lotion, so you don't need to add the oil to it to get a good moisturizing effect. And then use perfume that lingers but does not overpower. I think that's good advice if you like to wear fragrance and you're not allergic to it, to definitely use something that's just kind of, it's there but not going to overpower everybody in the room, because we've all been around people that have way too much cologne or way too much perfume on, and that's not the thing you want people to remember you for. So overall, I would say starting out, not bad advice. Couple things I don't think are necessarily like the thing that the dermatologist is going to tell you, but okay for self-care. So she got a lot of follow-up questions, and then she started answering questions. So the next question that she got was, what do you mean never use a towel? What should we use? And she replied, air dry your face, never towel dry. People with sensitive skin can never. I don't know about other people though, babe. So do you need to air dry if you have sensitive skin? Overall, I would say no, but I do agree that you don't want to take a towel and scrub your face after you've washed. If you'd like to, you can pat dry gently, and you're generally going to be fine. You don't want to remove all of the moisture from your skin, however, before you apply your moisturizer. It's nice to moisturize when there's a little bit of moisture on the skin, when your skin's still just a bit damp. So you don't necessarily have to air dry, in my opinion, but you can if you'd like to. That's not a bad thing to do. I know that I'm just not going to take the time to stand there and wait for my face to air dry. I do tend to have more sensitive skin, and I use a towel and gently pat my face dry so it goes a little bit quicker and it's not abrasive on my skin. The next question Nikki got was, what oils and lotions do you mix together, babe? Brand names. Nikki replies, yes, I mix lotions and oils. In the shower, I mix gel and soap, so it's always my own signature, whatever you love. I like mango, lavender, coconut, vanilla, etc., plus regular soap. You must still use regular soap. I only wear my pink print perfume though. It sends men brazy like no lie. Okay, so this is kind of her interesting approach. She's really doing this out of a self-care type thing. She likes the fragrances that she combines, so she's getting a nice relaxing experience. This is okay to do if you're not allergic to fragrance, but just be aware that the more things you start mixing together, you may increase your risk of getting a contact dermatitis. So you do want to use things that you're buying. You're not mixing this up yourself in the kitchen. You're not taking do-it-yourself skincare. You're using products that might be mango scented, products that might be lavender scented, and you're putting those with, she says, a regular soap. I'm assuming that means like a body wash or something like that, and then putting that on your loofah and scrubbing down if that's the way you like to do it. I don't really have a problem with this. I do just recommend, again, a gentle body wash to clean the skin, and if you have very sensitive skin, you don't need to scrub every part of your body. You can let the water rinse off most of the body and use your cleansing body wash under the armpits, in the groin, on the backside. Use a cleanser for your face, but you don't necessarily need to scrub every part of your body, your arms, your legs, all of that, because you will increase your risk for irritation and dryness. But if you just let the water rinse over some of those other areas and clean the areas of your body with more apocrine glands, like your armpits and your groin, then you're gonna get just all the good effects of cleaning the body without over drying the skin. So here's the next question. It says, I normally use a paper towel and pat dry. That's not good? Nikki replied, I see a lot of people saying this. I could never. People with sensitive or dry skin should not dry with a paper towel. I don't care who told you to. Air dry, it only takes a minute, then moisturize. Overall, I do agree. I don't like using paper towels on the face. I think it's wasteful. I think you should use a reusable towel, not a paper towel. If you're gonna dry, just pat dry gently, but don't scrub, don't rub. I don't think what this person is doing is bad, other than they're wasting paper products. But you can pat dry, your skin will still be a little damp at the end of that, and then moisturize. If you have the time to sit and let your skin air dry to a point where you can then moisturize, I have no problem with that, not a big deal. But I don't think that anybody should feel compelled to stand there and let their skin air dry. If you have sensitive skin, let me know if you're experiencing improved skin by just air drying. But for most people, I think you're fine to just pat dry and then moisturize when there's still a little bit of damp texture on your skin. The next question that Nikki answered was, what do you moisturize with? Her response, non-scented, from Dermatologist preferably, but if not, make sure never scented. Not too heavy moisturizer, light or mid-weight vibe, just make sure it's never scented. Sensitive skin will not agree at all. Even the wash should be gentle, non-scented, no alcohol. Couldn't agree more with her assessment on this. If you have dry or sensitive skin, I do think it's worthwhile to avoid fragrance for most people. Even if you're not allergic, you're a little bit more likely to get irritation or develop an allergy from a fragrance product. She recommends a lightweight or mid-weight moisturizer. I think that works great for most people. If you're really dry, I like using a thicker moisturizer that does feel a little heavier on the skin. I don't do that necessarily in the morning, but I do before I go to bed at night. So it's all about your personal preference there. But overall, good advice from Nicki Minaj to use fragrance-free products, both cleansers and moisturizers on your face if you have sensitive skin. And the last part of Nicki's tweet thread was a response to this comment. I'm team sensitive. While my face is still damp, that's when I add my products, then seal it all in with a good moisturizer. And her reply was correct. Before water on your face completely dries, you moisturize. Even with your body, never let your body be completely dry before you add your lotions and oils. So overall, I agree with that sentiment. When you have dry skin or sensitive skin, you do want to have a little bit of moisture on there, and that's when you apply your cream to hydrate that skin and prevent transepidermal water loss. And if you're going to be using other skincare products, it's okay to put that on damp skin, except for a retinol. Typically, I recommend that that's done on dry skin, or you will have an increased risk of irritation. But many people with dry and sensitive skin don't tolerate using a retinol anyway, but it can be a great time to apply things like hyaluronic acid, and even some vitamin C's will do okay on damp skin. And then you want to apply your moisturizer. If you're doing this in the morning, make sure that your last step is always sunscreen. You want to have sunscreen on before you go outside. It's the best way to protect your skin from ultraviolet light that will induce the signs of aging and increase your risk of skin cancer. So overall, how did Nicki Minaj do on her skincare advice? Tell me what you guys think. From my perspective as a dermatologist, I think she gave solid advice that would do well for most people, especially those with sensitive skin. Now, if you do have sensitive skin, I recommend avoiding fragrance. You may not want to use perfume, as she does suggest. But if you're doing your skincare routine and kind of using that in some self-care, and you want to use more highly fragranced things to give yourself a nice experience, that's okay as well, as long as you're not developing irritation. Overall, I think Nicki Minaj understands her skincare well, and I would recommend that you follow most of that advice right there. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning into the channel. If you want to support the things that I'm doing here, make sure you check out 208SkinDoc. Those are the skincare products that I recommend in my office every day to my patients. You can find them on that website, so check it out and let me know other topics you'd like me to cover here. Thank you for tagging me in Nicki Minaj's tweets, so these could come to my attention and we could respond to them. Have a great weekend. You guys are amazing.